Well, hi, Renie. We're working on this event coming up and we're getting excited and everything, but what was your idea? What was your momentum to even start Bling Bling Irene?
Well, that's a pretty interesting question. Okay, so number one, the name Bling Bling Irene. Irene comes from my mom, even though that's my name, is my mom's name and my grandmother's name. And my mom passed away from cancer about 16 years ago. She had lung cancer. And I'm also a cancer survivor, as you are.
I am, yes.
And I just started thinking everyone has been touched by cancer in one way or another, whether it's personally, family member, friend of a friend, niece, nephew. And I just wanted to make a difference and just do something that was just more. And 2 years ago, in 2022, I was at a mastermind retreat in Paris with my business coach, Lisa J. And this was not my intent to have a cancer foundation. I had a totally different intent for a business idea to make money. And I started listening to every single person, what they were doing. And I just thought, do you know what, Reen? This is just not big enough. It isn't big enough. And I got a lot of push and pull, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to listen to your gut. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's where Bling Bling Irene was born, in Paris. So
That's
how
awesome.
appropriate is that?
Awesome. Well, and I myself was at a retreat with Lisa J, and I expressed my interest in working with a foundation for cancer. I lost my husband 16 years ago, so it was pretty much around the same time you lost your mom. And his was kidney cancer, and it was financially devastating. And at the time, I thought, I don't want people to ever go through this again. And then here we go, 11 years later, I'm going through breast cancer myself. And I found so many people that were there to help with breast cancer. But I thought to myself, there's got to be other ways to help other cancers too. Pancreatic cancer, there's just so many different types of cancer and so much need. So that was my big interest when I heard about Bling Bling Irene.
Well, I have to say, I'm so happy you did, or I wouldn't have you here today.
Well, and I know, and it really makes it a lot of fun to work together.
Yeah.
And you are a very easy person to work with. And that's just important to me as it is for you. That's how the whole idea started. How do you see this growing, or where do you want to go with this?
That's a great question, because in the last year, it's really been 1 year, right? Since Bling Bling Irene has been born, created. And we've helped roughly about 15, 16 cancer warriors.
Awesome.
So I like the double it rule. So next year I like to double it. And then today I met someone, which it would be like quadruple million times the idea, which one day I think this would be phenomenal, is to have a big, huge home or a residence where you can house the children, the mothers, the fathers, the veterans, the seniors, whoever it is that's in need close to a hospital. Now, we all have to have a dream, right? Because we need something to work towards. And getting there is going to be quite interesting, but do you know what? Just baby steps along the way. And I'm finding out, and I think you are too, because we're talking to so many people now, it's all about who you're talking to, because people really, truly want to help. People truly are good. They really are. And every time I turn around, well, I know someone that can help you do this. I know someone that could help you do this. I'm like, praise God, praise God.
No, and like you said, that people are pretty good. I mean, they're very good. They have a good heart. And cancer doesn't. Cancer sucks.
Yeah.
And, going through it with my breast cancer, sometimes you wonder how much you can take. Whereas there's a lot of people out there that, you know, can't work. I mean, my situation, I can say I was very blessed. I was working for a company that I could go on medical leave and I was still covered by my insurance. But there's a lot of people that aren't that fortunate.
That's right.
And we've helped a young mother that had a little boy that's sick. He lost half his leg to his cancer. And she has to be his constant caregiver, and she can't go to work. And so she's at the mercy of people with big hearts.
I'm just smiling because I just remember the little boy we're talking about and the big smile on his face. You would never know.
I know.
You wouldn't know that little guy had cancer. He just had joy in his heart. And that's what makes it worthwhile, doesn't it?
Exactly. Because we are making a difference. But, you know, that's why we work to have these galas and these little sip-in shops and any way that we can to connect with people to get support and donations, because without that we can't do the work that we really want to do.
Absolutely.
And we have to form these relationships. But it's also so rewarding because people will donate in the name of somebody they lost and love.
I just remember it was in 2022. I have an ornament party every year. And I announced it to about 40 of my girlfriends because I figure if I said it out loud, then you have to do it, right? And the support that I got that evening, Renie, I want to donate $100. I want to donate $20. I want to donate I wasn't asking, I was just giving them my vision and how excited I was about it. And it was all their generous hearts. And they're still very generous. And then there's more generous people.
There's a lot of people that want to do something, have some kind of purpose. For me, that's what Bling Bling Irene kind of gave me is a purpose. That's why I love working with it. But then there's other people that need something and they feel like they want to contribute to things. And that's our job, to reach out and find them and make them fall in love with the whole concept too.
Well, what's interesting, exciting about this venture and doing it with you is there's so many different levels, right? We're raising the funds, we're making friends with people that they make cutting boards or they create jewelry that they want to donate. They have businesses, they want to donate something. Then we're on the side where a friend will call us up and say, guess what? My neighbor just got diagnosed. How do you think Bling Bling Irene can help? And it's just the levels, right? Or do you know, maybe they just don't need the help, they just need a prayer. Or they just want a comfort bag. Or not want, but we're happy to give them just a little something that, guess what? You're not in this fight alone. We're all thinking about you.
Exactly. And I know that's how I felt during and I'm sure you did too. You had cancer at one time. What is your story with that?
Well, I went in for just a routine colonoscopy, and I'm a big advocate for that now. And I was healthy as an ox, healthy as a horse. I was on Weight Watchers. I had a personal trainer. I was in great shape. That was 8 years ago. Went in for the routine colonoscopy, and when I woke up, I saw my husband there crying with the doctor, and I knew that wasn't the norm because he's had one. You know, the norm is you walk out, you know, you haven't eaten for 24 hours, you go get a pastrami sandwich or something, right? And they noticed something unusual. So I wound up getting diagnosed with stage 2 rectal cancer.
Oh my.
So that was surprising, and no one ever likes to hear the C word, as you very well know.
No.
And fortunately, it's been 8 years that I've been clean, so thank you, God.
And see, that's another message we want to get out to everybody. Mine was found on a routine mammogram, and yours was found on a colonoscopy. These tests are out there for a reason.
Yes.
You don't wait until it's too late. Do the pre-work.
Right.
Get out there and and I mean, for me, I know with October being breast cancer, I mean, I'll post something every day about get those mammograms, you know, things like that. And the same thing, you know, we have colonoscopies for a reason. They could find other things. I know, like with my husband, he had kidney cancer. He had no symptoms, so we had no way of knowing. When they finally found it, it was too late. It had already gone into his bones. If we would have known earlier. And ironically, a year prior, he did have a tumor removed from his arm. And they said it was the size of a softball, and they got all of it, but it was some kind of cancer and they couldn't identify it. Well, then, you know, a year later, they're finding something on his bone, and when they compare it, they find the kidney this big. And going back, and this is through Johns Hopkins as well too, they found out that original tumor was kidney cancer, but they didn't know what it was. If we would have done at that time, unbeknownst, I mean,
Right.
we're invincible, we're not thinking that. If we would have done a full body scan, we would have found it a whole year earlier.
We need to do our own homework. I mean, the doctors and the hospitals are wonderful, but
You have to be your own advocate.
yeah, exactly. And also, it's important to listen to your gut.
Absolutely.
You know, you have that little thing that goes on in your head, and if you have that feeling, you should probably follow. That's my personal opinion anyway. You should follow through with it because you don't know.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, you're never thinking in terms of, I mean, he was 43. I mean, we're just not thinking in terms of.
Well, now he's so young, 43.
He died at 49, and you know, there's so much more I know now, and that's what I want to share with others, because not that it was a mistake, but you know, we just didn't know.
Yeah.
And there's so much more advancements. I mean, if he was alive today starting this journey, there's so much more advanced.
Sure.
It was archaic what they did to him then. I mean, there's so much more. There's medicine, there's, you know, different treatments. And so hopefully, you know, we could have caught it earlier. But for me, thankfully, they did catch it early, even though I've had it return. And now maybe again, but they're on it. They're testing it. You've got to put your faith in your doctor, but you've got to listen too and see. I read a lot. I follow a lot of information. You don't want to use, you know, they say don't use WebMD because people start freaking out.
Sure.
And they're, you know, telling themselves they have cancer before it's even developing. But you know, if you have any suspicion, go be tested. There's so much that can be learned from a body scan, a full.
And don't put your head in the sand.
Exactly.
Don't put your head in the sand.
Because a lot of people are scared and they don't want the answer. And if you catch it early enough, it doesn't necessarily have to be scary. So that's just my message to so many people.
No, you hit the nail right on the head. That's very, very true. And I mean, if anything, what we're doing, if people just get tested and we just save one person, guess what? Our job is done. We saved one person by them getting a scan, a mammogram, a colonoscopy, whatever the test may be.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Awareness is half the battle. So, and we're here to support the ones that unfortunately find that diagnosis and are struggling with it, but we can help financially and do some other things for them. And there's other referrals, and there are things that can be done. And the main thing is anyone with cancer of any type, they're not in it alone.
That's right. Besides the medical aspect of cancer, it's so important, I think, for people to know that it's not just the patient, right?
Absolutely.
It is the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister, the aunt, the caregiver, whatever their nucleus is, it is affecting everyone. And it's a financial struggle.
Absolutely.
How do we pay our mortgage? How are we going to be able to get to point A to point B? Because guess what? That's a 2-hour drive and a 2-hour drive back. Where are we going to stay? And that's the part that Bling Bling Irene wants to help with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And other miscellaneous financial burdens that fall upon
Well, we help
cancer families.
twin sisters. One
Yeah.
lives in Florida, one's here. The one in Florida was diagnosed with breast cancer. The sister here desperately wanted to go see her sister, but she was not in a position to purchase the flight. So we
Yeah.
did it for her. We reunited them so that they could be together through her treatment, which is awesome, you know.
And also, the nice thing about a lot of nonprofits is we're all willing to work together for the common good. So we've teamed up with Mercy Medical Angels. They're in Virginia. They've given out gas cards to some of our patients.
Awesome.
F Cancer, they deal solely with children. So you're under 18. It's kind of like make an experience come true, make a wish come true, and they've helped. So people are really generous. I mean, not only the people, the nonprofits, and like we were saying earlier, that we're all just working for the common good.
Right. And we've got to find them. I mean, we have to find these people that need our help. I know when I was going through it with my husband, I kept my head in the sand as far as I didn't want anybody to think he hadn't taken care of us financially. But the burden of it, 3 years of treatments and craniotomies and gamma knife surgeries and all this stuff, I don't care how good your insurance is, you still have copays and costs for prescriptions, and it was financially devastating for us. And I swore at the time I would never have anybody go through what I went through. But that was my pride that got in my way a little bit because I didn't look. I didn't ask who could help.
But now you know. And
I
now
know.
you can give that information to other people.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Pam. I appreciate that.
I know.
Because look how many people you've already helped.
I know. Together.
Together.
What's really good is we have our gala coming up, our annual gala. It's going to be awesome. An evening in Paris, which we're having so much fun planning it, but just the funds we raise, we could help so many more people.
Absolutely.
And, you know, share your ideas.
Well,
for the
I'm
evening.
super excited because this is near and dear to my heart, An Evening in Paris, since this is exactly where this vision was created.
Right.
So it's extra special for me. And it's October 11th, as you know, Friday
Absolutely.
evening. It's at the Waterfront Hilton in Huntington Beach. And we just need to sell tickets, and we need to have people come, have fun,
Absolutely.
raise funds, and just everybody come together as a community so we can help others.
There's a tribute to your mom, and there's
Yeah.
a tribute to all of us that have lost a loved one. You know, it brings on a special evening that we can do that knowing that we're doing that in their memory. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fabulous evening. And thank you so much for being part of that and helping. You're a big part of the gala
Wow.
and our evening in Paris.
I know. Now if I only knew what I was going to wear.
What should we wear?